Zelda is getting her own video game.
What?
Hey, excuse me, princess.
Hey guys, it's Mike here. Welcome back to my channel. Make sure you subscribe for more pop culture content and let's get into today's video. So if you've been following my content for a long time, you'll know that I am a massive Nintendo fan and I'm pretty much just a massive nerd in general. Seriously, I actually challenge anyone to be as nerdy or more nerdy than me. And recently there was a huge announcement regarding the Legend of Zelda video game franchise. If you're not familiar, Legend of Zelda is one of Nintendo's biggest properties, and you've probably heard of a bunch of the games, including Ocarina of Time, Majora's Mask, and more recently Breath of the Wild, which is commonly considered one of the best modern video games ever. Legend of Zelda goes really hard, and people really like it and look forward to it. This is probably where I have to show my hand though. I'm actually not a huge Zelda fan. I've played a bunch of the games and enjoy them, but I've always been more into like platforming games rather than the like open adventure style games that Zelda is. That being said, as a massive fan of Super Smash Bros., a Nintendo crossover fighting game, I'm definitely very across the Zelda lore. I actually went on a quiz show here in Australia with the expert topic Super Smash Bros., so go and watch that video too.
Mike, podcast producer, expert subject, video game Super Smash Brothers.
But very recently there was a Nintendo Direct where they announced a bunch of new games coming to Nintendo Switch in the next 6 months to a year, and one of them really blew my mind, and a lot of people's minds for that matter. Because one of the biggest misconceptions to like non-gamers is that Zelda is the playable character in The Legend of Zelda. If you even have a fleeting interest, you probably recognize this character here, who a lot of people accidentally think is Zelda. But that character's name is actually Link, not Zelda. Zelda is in fact the princess. And I could be wrong, but in what I believe could be a first for this franchise, Nintendo just announced the first ever Legend of Zelda game in which Zelda is the main playable character. Because in pretty much every Legend of Zelda game, you play as Link. Link is the hero. And often, not always, but often Zelda is kind of like the character you have to save.
I'm still on a never-ending quest to save you.
The game is called Zelda Echoes of Wisdom, and it shows that for the first time you'll play as Zelda and you need to save Link, which is kind of the opposite of normal. I think this is really interesting in a few ways, particularly because I feel like recently with Nintendo games, they have been trying to rebrand Princess Peach in the same kind of way. Traditionally, Princess Peach was the damsel in distress character that Mario had to save. She basically had no skills or talent of her own. She just kind of had to be kidnapped by Bowser and saved by Mario. She couldn't fend for herself. She even had her own game on the Nintendo DS called Super Princess Peach, which was probably one of the most sexist concepts I've ever seen. It was a 2D platformer, but throughout the game, you could access different emotions from Peach, such as joy, rage, gloom, and calm. And they all had different effects. That game came out in 2005, and I feel like it definitely wouldn't fly today. It definitely comes across as kind of sexist to think that having a female-centric character, she'd obviously have very unpredictable and ever-changing emotional states. Only recently in media like the Super Mario Bros. Movie has Peach really been fleshed out into her own independent, powerful character.
We are going to stop Bowser. I'm going to convince the Great Kong army to help us.
And no longer really the damsel in distress that was very cliche in gaming kind of pre-2020s. And I feel like by giving Zelda her own game where she is the centric character, they are building up that character even more. That being said, I always thought that Zelda was a much stronger, fleshed out character than Princess Peach in the Nintendo princess universe. Seriously, are they like Disney princesses, or are they like, they don't cross over? Because sometimes the Disney princesses cross over, or is that wrong? Am I wrong? I'm sorry, I'm lost. For example, in Ocarina of Time, Zelda is actually in disguise as Sheik, a ninja who helps along the way. So it's not the first time Zelda has broken out of that damsel in distress territory. That being said, she has also been playable in Super Smash Bros. Since the second game in that series and is a really fun character to play. But this is the first time she's purely playable in a mainline Legend of Zelda game. And I think stuff like this is great. I think a lot of people are really excited for this game, and people have been wanting Zelda to be playable in her own game for a very, very long time. And it shows that brands like Nintendo care about the feedback of their fan base. And even though I'm not super into the Legend of Zelda games, I definitely want to pick this up and play it because it's just something new and different. And it also just offers a more diverse universe from the Legend of Zelda series, in which Link the male is not always the playable character. Overall, I think it's really important to break those stereotypes of female characters being the damsels in distress and giving them games like this where they can really shine, flesh out new characters, and appeal to a wider audience who want to play as strong female characters. And that's awesome. Hey, thank you so much for watching this video. I do a bunch of pop culture takes on my channel. You can subscribe to my Patreon as well. I would love to have you support the channel. Thanks to all my Patreon supporters so far. Plus, I would love for you to leave a comment. Are you going to pick up this game? And who's your favorite female video game character? For me, it's probably Kairi from Kingdom Hearts. Man, I love that game so much. Check out some of my other videos, and I will see you in another one. My name is Radio Mike. This has been The Inside of My Mind. I'll catch you later.